Hiya, I want to have a little chat. I want to give a bit of context to my account, fashion love and the way that I spend money on clothes. I thought I'll do it while I transform this very long jumper into a shorter jumper. So I have always had a love for fashion. We grew up with not a lot of money, but a very loving home. I think I always had a bit of a thing about wanting to fit in. It's probably because I'm neurodivergent. Like, my love for fashion started through that, wanting to fit in. It's progressed since then to be a genuine love of clothing, textures, colours, how things work together, dressing my body to present myself, I guess. And it is a way of masking. It is a way of making yourself look good. It's a way of convincing people from the exterior that you're a good person. And it's funny because I don't judge people based on their appearance, but I think I always make the assumption people will do that about me. There have been times in my life when I definitely wasn't palatable. I shaved my head once when I was hairdressing. I'd wear outlandish, bright coloured garments that probably didn't go together. But I loved it. I loved the playfulness of it. And I loved uni for that because it was a time where I could be really experimental with my clothes. I've never really had any money, so I've always made my fashion choices work for me based on the budget that I have. Growing up, my dad used to take me into charity shops to get bric-a-brac. I've got crap everywhere, basically. Back when it wasn't cool, I think there was a negative connotation around it. Anyway, I used to get some amazing things when I went charity shopping, and that sort of carried on. I moved to London and I was skint when I lived in London. So I think the idea is find a similar place on the hem and then you just sew. I think I might just go for it, to be honest. And then move back to my hometown. When me and my husband moved back here, I was pregnant with our first child and we had no money. We were so skint. We'd just lived in London. He'd been made redundant and we were living back at my parents'. There was big pressure to make a success of ourselves, and that's probably one of the hardest times in our lives, but we've managed to get through that. We now have a fairly successful business. Well, in my opinion, really successful, but necessarily based on the finance of it, more based on the ethics of it, what we're trying to do. And when we first started that business, we had not a penny to our name. We were living off my maternity pay. I was just shopping extremely cheaply. I would be adapting clothes a bit like I'm doing now. I like to just customise things I already have. And now we're making a bit more money, I do spend a bit more on my clothes because I've ever had a period where I don't shop. And I mean, there's a lot to go into that with, really, because I do have a shopping addiction. And what I'd say, it's a dopamine and newness addiction, which I've channeled into clothes rather than something else.
Join me in the next video where I go into more detail about my shopping addiction.